So, hello guys, welcome to this webinar where I'm going to talk about deciphering the code cards. This is I think, the third webinar in the series that we've been going through where we learned how to decipher first the upright tarot cards and the reversed ones. And of course, code cards deserve special attention. So I'm going to give you today some very simple tools and techniques that will help you decipher the meanings of these code cards and interpret them in your questions and, across different spread positions when they show up. Okay. Now, very quickly, I'm sure you guys know what I do, but I think this is one of the things you have to do in a webinar. Just gonna briefly talk about myself. I am a professional tarot card reader and tarot mentor. I'm sure you know me from my site, TaroticallySpeaking.com. I've been reading cards for nearly 15 years now, since 2006. And Lenormand cards, I think for about 4 or 5 years. I'm very fuzzy on that. And I've written this, I think it's an amazing book called Tarot Reading Using Storytelling Techniques. You can find it on Amazon, paperback and Kindle. And of course, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Just Google my name and I'm sure I'll show up somewhere. So if you want to reach out to me anytime, you can do that. I'm always there. Okay. Now, before we begin, very quickly again, just run through a few rules. Right. These are, the same normal stuff. Participate, be respectful, be helpful, share, and there will be Q&A at the end. So if you have any big doubts or whatever, don't worry. Make sure you write them down, or as I said earlier, you can interrupt me if it's just one of the things, if you want me to repeat something right away, I'll do that, no problem. But if you have some big doubts, you can always ask me. And the biggest rule is have fun. You're going to have fun, right? Because if you don't have fun, I don't like doing anything that is not fun. And yep, so in today's webinar, we're going to learn how to interpret any tarot card. All right, any tarot card, any tarot code card, sorry, with, in a very intuitive fashion within the context of the question, in a very specific spread position. Again, we're going to do it very systematically, and it's going to be extremely creative too, because otherwise, what's the fun in that, right? And yes, this I think is very important. That's why I keep repeating this slide across all my presentations. How do we approach the learning process? Because how we approach it makes a huge difference in how we take the knowledge and how we process it. And just like that little kid in the slide here, I want you guys to approach this with openness, with a childlike approach. All right? Be playful. Let your imagination run wild and embrace what comes with, with wonder, with awe, with curiosity. I mean, just go back to being a child, right? You have to engage with this process with your entire heart, mind, body, and soul. That's what the tarot really demands of you in a way. Just be like a child and just play with it. So, and the more childlike you are in your approach with the cards, the more they open up to you, the more they reveal their wisdom to you. That's been my experience. So just be open, right? Have fun. Okay, so are you guys able to see the slideshow? Because sometimes I have had technical issues, people weren't able to see the slide. If anyone isn't able to see the slides, just chime in now, because we're about to really get into things. Okay, nobody's chiming in, so I'm assuming everything is okay. All right, let's begin. Code cards, because that's what we're here for today, isn't it? So what are they all about? We have seen code cards in our readings: the page, the knight, the queen, the king, and everybody's afraid of them, and I have never understood why. Probably because my teacher never scared me. And that's what happens. People are like, oh, code cards are difficult. And that sets the tone for literally everything to do with code cards in your head. It's like, oh my God, code cards are hard. No, they're not. Because code cards are people. And if you remember that, everything falls into place. They are people. They are the people cards, right? I know each and every tarot card usually features a person on that card going through whatever is happening in the card, but these cards are very specifically people. So here we are going to look at their personalities. We are going to look at what they are all about, right? And because they belong to each suit, there is something very distinctively common to all of them within that suit, right? It's something beautiful and powerful, and you literally are seeing people. And people, well, they can be complicated, but then if you just pay attention, they are not that hard to figure out. In a reading, when a code card shows up, it's talking about either the client, and by client I mean the person you're reading for, or they're talking about the people in the client's life. It's that simple. And yes, you may wonder, oh, so which is which? Give yourself some time, you'll figure it out. It's very intuitive. Maybe if you start simple and you tell yourself, all right, all the code cards that show up will be the client, then all the code cards that show up will be the client. And once you get comfortable with them, you can, relax those rules for yourself. And you'll see, occasionally you'll know, oh, this is someone else in your life. Oh, this is you. Literally, the code cards are showing how people behave, react, respond in and to their surrounding situations. That's all they're showing. So the code card by itself tells you, oh, this is the personality of this person, or, in the reading. But apart from that, they're also showing you how they're dealing with whatever's going on around them. And whatever's around them will be seen in the surrounding cards in the spread. That's what a spread is all about. You're seeing all kinds of stuff going on, and that's how this person is showing up and reacting or responding to it. Okay, so again, it could be the client or it could be the person in the client's life. Again, it's just a person, so it's not that hard. So what I want you to do is, when you're thinking about code cards, just drop that perception, drop that preconceived notion that, oh my God, this is hard. It's not hard. They are just very specific cards, like they are people cards. And once you have that equation going on in your head that code cards are people, and of course, I'm going to show you some very useful techniques. Once you have that all lined up, it shouldn't be that hard. Okay? So, as I said, they are people. They have personalities. And personalities means they have personality traits. All right? All they talk about essentially are the growth and maturity level of a person. So a page is like a child, right? He's approaching everything maybe immaturely or very naively. A knight is a little bit older than that. He is a new adult or newly adult. He's active. He's ready to take life by the horns. He wants to go out there. And that's why usually you'll see them on that horse. A horse depicts movement, right? So anything like a horse. You'll also see boats in these tarot cards, right? Horses, boats, they're depicting things, chariots, they're moving, right? So that's the movement, that's the ready to go out and about and do stuff. And very interestingly, if you observe the knights, you'll see that each horse moves a little bit differently. And that is a very interesting clue, because there you can see the kind of movement that is happening. All right? We'll look at that. Then, of course, we have the next stage, which is the queen. She is a little bit mature than the knight, and okay, now I usually don't go into the gender role thing, because it's very lopsided in a way. You've got three guys and one lady. but it can very specifically depict a woman, and it's again very, very much listen to your intuition here. All right, because I've had women show up as kings, guys show up as queens, and it's just how they're showing up in the situation. So the when I say woman, I would say feminine, or I would say those kind of very specific qualities that a woman has: compassion, understanding, warmth, that sort of thing. So that's how the queen shows up. And then you go a little bit mature, and there you have the king, who is bringing in the manly or masculine qualities of being in charge, being the one going out there doing stuff, taking control. He's supposed to be even more mature. He's supposed to be very much in charge of everything. So that's, they are essentially documenting the growth of the person from child to adult to a little bit mature to very mature. All right, so you're seeing that growth happen. So if in a reading someone is showing up as a page, then you can be sure that this person is reacting to that specific situation in a very maybe childish fashion or immature fashion. Again, depending on which card shows up, how it shows up, what your intuitive response to that card is, you'll know right away how this person is reacting. But if different situations show this, your client shows up as a queen, for instance, you know that this person is coming at it with a more compassionate attitude, or they want to understand it, or there's some deeply feminine qualities at play here, right? So depending on which card shows up, and that's how we all are, right? In certain situations we are very childlike. In certain situations, the same person, we are very mature. So you cannot say that it's out of that it's not logical. It does make sense. Depending on the situation, you can you can bring out different aspects of yourself, and that's what these quote cards are depicting, really. Okay, now there is a there is something called as the Myers-Briggs personality test indicator. I'm sure you guys must have seen something like this, or something about this across the internet. What's your MBTI? Uh, what do they call it? What is your MBTI personality type? And there are all these tests, and there are a bunch of free tests as well. And they have these very interesting four aspects, and they combine that to come up with 16 different personality types. Now, this can be a great fun exercise. You can take each quote card and try to see which MBTI indicator goes well with it. As you play around, you might even realize that it's not always exact. You might have two or three quote cards for just one indicator, or two or three indicators for one quote card. And that is also very good, because that's how we are as people too. We are primarily one, say, MBTI type, but we also have other tertiary or secondary functions. So the more deeper you get, the more crazy it gets. But it's a fun exercise, and this is again a great way to also look at the personality. The way we are approaching this. And don't worry, this graphic is there in the handout too. I've sourced it from Wikipedia, so you can even get onto the Wikipedia page and read more about this later on if you want. This is great fun, but don't get caught up with this. This is just another fun perspective to look at the personality traits. Because interestingly, we have 16 quote cards and 16 personality traits, right? Uh, Again, the way you focus on things, whether you're an introvert or whether you're an extrovert, the way you take in information, whether it is you sense it or you intuit it, the way you take your decisions, whether it's thinking based or feeling based, and the way you live your life, whether it's judging or perceiving. These are the four core points which they use to come up with these indicators. I think it's interesting. You can play around with this. Uh, right. Now, the hierarchy. Oh, yeah, this is important too. The hierarchy is based on the hierarchy in the king's court. This is just a fun sort of factoid for you guys to know. Why is it that the page is always the youngest and the king is the oldest? Is because the hierarchy was such back in the day that the page used to be apprenticed to the knight, because he was actually in training, right? The page, you have to apprentice, you have to train, and then the page would eventually become the knight. And the knight serves the queen, who in turn serves the king. So that's where this hierarchy has come from. And they've sort of mapped it onto the personality or the growth pattern of people, child, adult, mature, more mature, whatever that is, right? It keeps going that way. But this is the fun part, the elements, right? Because our code cards belong to four different suits, right? There's also that beautiful element aspect that comes into play. Remember, I told you there's a common thread between the code cards of each suit, and that is the element. And obviously, you can see pentacles are earth, wands are fire, cups are water, and swords are air. Now, in the same vein, elements have been also assigned to each sort of code card stage, you can say. So, pages are earth, knights are fire, queen is water, and king is air. And there's a sense to why it is that way. Okay, let me explain. Pages, like we saw earlier, they are childlike, they're immature, they're starting out. So, for them, everything needs to be tangible. That's your earth energy. Knights are out there, they're like more active, they're doing stuff, they're making it happen, they're ready to sort of take on the world. That is your fire energy. Hence, knights are associated with fire. Queens bring in the feminine intuition, compassion, understanding. So that's clearly water energy. And kings, that's just that. Well, I think that's the only element that's left over. But kings also bring in a lot of that intellect, that logic, that control, which comes from air energy. And so this, in this table, you'll see how it all sort of intersects, right? And you'll see that the page of earth is earth of earth. This is beautiful, very earthy energy. The knight of wands is fire of fire. Oh yeah, I've chosen those four cards right there. A queen is water of water, queen of cups, and king of swords is air of air. So that's where this uh, connection comes in. And this is very important. This is important if you just remember that you will be able to very quickly analyze and interpret which code card means what. Because, ta-da! This is the key. This is the table where you will see, hang on, yeah. This one will tell you exactly how to interpret it. Okay. On the left, you'll see a table where you see the qualities of the page, the knight, the queen, and the king, what they represent. And on the right, you'll see a table where what each element is all about. And you can literally put one and two together to kind of arrive at the basic template of what each code card stands for. So, for instance, let's take the page of cups. So, we have a child. In page, it says child, childish, immature, new, starting, beginning, open, vulnerable, naive. And for cups, water, we have sentimental, romantic, social, spiritual, emotional, relationships, and love. So those are the areas that water sort of controls or dominates. So page of cups will be a child who is very sentimental, or it can be a childish romance. It can be a new relationship. It can be a new sort of emotional situation. It can be, you're starting something, which is very spiritual, a new spiritual journey, or you're naively looking at love. You can just combine, you can put one and two together and play around with those combinations, and you'll see how the Page of Cups sort of fleshes out. Uh, let's take another example. Let's take the King of Pentacles. Why not? I like this guy. The king is usually very controlling, dominating. He's superior. He has control over himself and others. And pentacles are very physical, they're materialistic, practical, conservative, and they're all about money and finances, pentacles, the energy. So the king of pentacles likes to control, say, finances. He is very dominating and very practical. He likes to have control over himself and others, especially when it comes to materialistic things. You see how he's suddenly coming alive. So use this table, right? Have this table in front of you and try to play around with these combinations. So with this table, you are not restricted just to your Rider-Waite deck and the imagery of that deck. If you pick up any deck and you want to interpret what that quote card means, this table is going to be the one that helps you put it all together. Now, of course, since we are reading quote cards, the imagery on the cards is going to play a big role too. So we're going to take all of that information from the previous table and we're going to put it together with whatever's going on the card, and we're going to come up with the interpretation. So once we have the element energy and the personality trait sort of combined, we're going to look at what's going on in the background, the environment, the surroundings. We're going to see the dress, what are the symbols, or what are the on the outfit, what sort of an outfit. Are there any other symbols, for instance? So on the Queen of Swords, she's got this little, these butterflies on her throne. She's got butterflies on her crown. And there's a little child angel thing also on her throne, right? Another important thing is the direction. Where are they looking? This can come in handy, especially in your spreads, right? Say if the cards are upright or reversed, it can literally tell you. For instance, with the knights on their horses, you can see where they're going, for instance. And it somehow it just creates a different sort of flow of the energy. You should pay attention to where these people are looking or where they are going, for instance. Yeah, that's the next one. I jumped ahead. Of course I did. So all of these things. So you look at what's going on in the card. Look in the background, the trees, right? There's a little river down by that tree. So but again, you have a lot of clouds. Clouds are cloudy thinking. Butterflies are creative thinking that's evolving, right? There's very little in terms of emotion because that river represents flowing emotion. So there is emotion, but there's little of it. She's the Queen of Swords. So let's go back a little. The Queen of Swords. Here we go. So she's mature and compassionate and nurturing and understanding and creative and all that good stuff. But then she's also rational, verbal, aggressive, logical. So she is mature and logical. She is compassionate and rational. She is understanding and still decisive. So she has this I like the Queen of Swords for this reason, because she is literally the combination of water and air in a very interesting mix, right? So she's someone who, and you can see that also. Hang on, I have to jump through this, don't I? Sorry about this, guys. I don't know why I did this. Yeah. So if you see again, in her hand, one hand she has a sword, and the other hand she's kind of saying, "Hey, how you doing? Welcome, whatever." She's waving that hand. Right there, you see that she also is she is understanding, she is welcoming, she's being nice, But at the same time, with that sword, she's saying, but only, you can't just, I'm being nice to you, but, don't press your luck. Don't cross the line, because I also got this sword here, guys. I'll use it if I have to. So don't make me use it. And that's your Queen of Swords. And she's very creative too. You can see by all those butterflies there. So there's a lot of this, which, once you have put together the basic sort of skeleton of the personality, the other stuff adds into it. So that's where from one deck to the other, you might see a lot of thematic information coming in. All right. And when you see where they're looking, where they're going, all of that, and you put that into play, the spread just comes alive. It's like, oh, this person is going here, doing this, doing that. Let's see what's happening. Right? So, oh yeah, we are just, so again, we put this together with uh, our keys to interpret the upright and reverse tarot cards. So I'm just going to very quickly run through this, a quick refresher, so to speak. Here we go. You see and feel the image. You answer the question. And again, in a spread position, right? It's very contextually or positionally, you can interpret the card upright. When did I put this key in there? Okay, so you can get very creative. You can get into the storytelling aspect of it. You can go deeper with the imagery. All of that just brings a lot of intellectual stuff into the play. And in order to interpret when the cards are reversed, for instance, yeah, right, just apply this. Whatever you have seen in the upright, it's either the opposite of that, or there's blocks or delays or hurdles, or there, you need to put in some work to make, so it needs work to get upright. But again, see the horse. It's now looking in another direction, or it's going in another direction, or, he's upside down. He may fall off the horse. What does that tell you, right? He's either too extra excited. There's no need to get extra excited. Your Knight of Wands, he's always excited, right? So you can apply those techniques also. You can bring all of that into what we just saw about interpreting the keys to interpret the court cards, and you can just add all of that into the mix, and just it becomes beautiful. And of course, I'm going to do a little shameless self promotion. So if you want more, you can buy my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and Kindle, because I get into real deep detail about the card story technique and the reading story technique in the book. And yes, this is available on my website. This is a PDF downloadable guide, and you can find in there the meanings for all these symbols of the Rider-Waite deck, or the Rider-Waite Smith deck. You'll also have contextual keywords, both upright and reversed. General, relationship, work and finance, spiritual, advice and guidance. So under different contexts, how would this card be interpreted? I have a bunch of that there. This is a reference guide, right? And of course, for court cards, we have also additionally got the personality traits. And then there's a bunch to do with numerology, which is fun. So it's available on my website. You can go check it out. So now we here are at the Q&A and practice part of our webinar, which is the fun, where we are going to really practice. I'm going to show you the slides first, because there's a few more slides I want to show you. And then I'm going to come out of the presentation mode, and then we'll really full on practice, okay? Yeah, these are the practice questions and spread positions, which you will, most typically, these are the questions you'll find people asking in readings. And these are the spread positions that you will see mostly in your different spreads. So this is kind of like a good framework, and this is there in your handout. So be sure you have it downloaded because we're going to refer to this one. These are the questions and spread positions. If you practice, say, if let's say the simple exercise is just pick any two from each section, pull one card and practice interpreting that card as an answer to this question, see what comes up, or if it was showing up in this spread position, how would you interpret it? We're gonna practice this right now, okay? But because this is all about code cards, I have got this one and yet one more additional sort of play exercise, whatever you call it, which is something you can practice. It's called the code card party. So I know with COVID going on and with all the social distancing going on, it's hard to imagine, but think about nicer times when you could have a party or a get together or a picnic. This is interesting because depending on different situations you have a different environment, right? So that gets a lot of fun things into play. It's a company retreat, or it's an office party, or you're at a conference, it's a date, or it's friends in a cafe. So practice, pick one situation and imagine that one by one each code card arrives, and imagine how they're interacting with each other, right? So for this, you can just shuffle all your code cards, draw two or three, and because they are hosting the party, and then pull. This is an optional step, you can pull other non code card cards to just describe a specific situation that's going on, maybe in the background. And then just have one code card show up, another code card show up, see how they're interacting with each other. And this is going to be a fun way for you to get to know them as they interact with each other. You can imagine, you might even say, oh, this person is just like my friend so and so, or that person is just like my office colleague so and so, or I know a person who's exactly this personality, right? These kind of associations are good. You can even associate them with characters from movies and books that you have read. That way it becomes something that you can connect right away, and you say, oh right, this guy, he's this character, and then you know the personality right off the bat, right? So this is one fun exercise. We can if you want, we can practice this right now, or we can practice you can practice this later amongst yourselves as well, or by yourself. This is an exercise that you can keep doing, and it never gets old. And yep, this is a spread. You'll find this on my website as well. This spread actually came into existence because a friend of mine, he's actually a student of mine and also a good friend, and we were just saying, wouldn't it be fun to use our code cards to figure out the personality of, say, a person that we've just met, and how can we do that? Because if let's say we use our code cards to figure it out, so then we can maybe decide for ourselves we want this person around or not. And between the two of us, we came up with this very intriguing spread where the cards you see with the smileys, they are the code cards, and the other cards are your other cards, normal non-code cards. That's additional if you want to. Uh, and basically, you just shuffle your code cards and you draw them for this, and you can draw other cards also to add in more information. So you see the positive and negative traits, and then around them, we also see different personality aspects, right? You see what his passions are, what their values are, whether they're trustworthy, dependable, what the integrity is about, loyalty. Then this is good. How the future of the relationship will be like, and what advice cards offer. So, in terms of how you can deal with them. You can maybe even change up the spread positions in different ways to suit your needs. That's perfectly okay. But you get the gist of this spread, right? So you can practice this this is very scorecard specific, so you get to see all the shades of their personality here. So in this way, you can really thoroughly analyze a person. So maybe you can start with the person you already know mostly well, and you can see if this is it sticks or it's pretty accurate kind of a thing. Okay. So all right. So I just wanted to show you these slides. Do we have anything more? No. Okay. Oh my God. Hi, Smita. Where have you been waiting for long? You're on mute, dear. I can't hear you. You're on mute. Sorry. अनम्यूट कर आणि बोल. I hope you haven't been waiting long, Smita.
नाही अगं आत्ताच जॉईन केलंय मी. माझी अपॉइंटमेंट चालली होती.
Okay. Because I was presenting आणि you presentation संपलं माझं. Sorry.
अरे बापरे. Sorry.
But don't worry, you can watch the video later. You can catch it on the video later. Okay.
बरं.
All right.
सगळं संपलं का बोलून तुझं आता?
Oh, now we're gonna start the practice.
Oh.
But it's okay. You can stick around.
Video बघेन.
Yeah. Because I hope I hope I didn't like keep you waiting for a long time. So presenting it didn't show up that you showed up. All right, hang around. We can still practice. So can you see the download link in the chat box? Just download the handouts and scroll down all the way till the end, and you will see the 3 practice sort of pages, and we'll practice from that now. All right. So guys, you can unmute yourself and let's have fun. And of course, you can refer to the earlier one also. Let me open that PDF on my, because on the PDF I've just kept it very specific. Oh, who likes this? Who likes this page that I did with the mask and this arrow and the elements? I spent some time doing that yesterday. The PDF. You have it on your screen? Just open it up. Okay, anyway, so let's go to, here we have the personality trait, keys to decipher tarot meaning. Let's go to the questions. Okay, let's practice. Guys, bring out your code cards and shuffle them up. If you want, and I want you guys to really mix them up, because they can be upright, they can be reversed. All right? We are not afraid of reverse cards here. We are just so. All right. So let's say someone comes up to you and says, "How do I deal with my annoying coworker?" Right? And you pull a court card. What did you pull? Oh, I love that deck. Knight of Cups. So, how do you deal with this annoying coworker?
Mode on a date.
That's a good one. I pulled the King of Cups. So, in order yeah, what do you think? What do you think is going on? How should I deal with this annoying coworker? If the answer is King of Cups, I should do what?
Use emotions and kind, sweet words.
But that would be more Queen of Cups. Don't you agree? He's a king.
control your emotions around
Yes.
him or her.
Yes. Yes. Be
Talk
more
about
in,
the good days.
yeah, be more in control of your emotions. Don't let him or her get to you. Right? Hmm. Has anybody else pulled a card? Shagun?
Yeah,
Essence?
I got Page of Cups.
Oh, Page of
Oh,
Cups. No,
oh. So he's naive or just starting.
no, 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 no.
So
How are you supposed to deal with this annoying coworker?
yeah, so he's going to ask probably a lot of questions, more to maybe deal with him, give him specific specific activities to do,
Hmm?
and ask for results, and then
No, no, no,
work.
no, no, no. You're overanalyzing it. This,
Okay.
this card is just telling you how you are supposed to behave. This is the page is you. This is how you are supposed to tackle this annoying coworker.
Okay, okay. So I thought this was my coworker.
That's a different one.
So maybe I'll guide him. So I have to guide him.
Yeah, you have to be very, I don't know, innocent and approachable for him. Just be,
Yeah.
yeah, be nice.
Yeah, because he might come up with a lot of questions. So probably I'll have to tell him to hold off some questions, but guide him only the questions that more at that time more um, uh,
Yeah, you have to just
related.
take it at face value. Just go be normal, nice with him, right?
Right.
Don't overthink this. Just be very, you know. Has anyone else pulled a card for this one?
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am,
Hi.
can I ask you a small question before this?
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, actually, as you know, I use Osho Zen cards, and there are a bit difference. Like we don't in the Osho Zen, we don't have the pentacles, swords, and
No,
these
but you
kind of
have the
terms.
elements.
Yeah, I have the element, so I have pulled a card of water,
Hmm?
a page card of water, which is the understanding card.
Yeah, but so you can have a corresponding code card connection there, right? What did you pull?
Um, I have pulled a
Page of
page
what?
of water.
Yeah, so that's a page of cups.
Cups. So, matlab, before that, can you please, matlab, I'm getting this confused. So, can you please tell me water represent cup, right?
Hmm?
And what pentacles means?
Earth. So in the oceans, then that would be the suit of rainbows.
Yeah, it is.
And then you have air would be swords, and fire would be wands. Water would be cups, and in the oceans, then that's pentacles would be rainbows.
Okay, and the fire would be,
Wands.
and the okay, and the air would be.
Swords or mind. In oceans, then that's mind, right? This
Okay,
is the
so
oceans.
in that case, I have pulled a page of cups,
Hmm. Correct.
and which is an understanding card.
Uh-huh.
So, if I need to elaborate, I would say that the person is bit kiddish, and I have to deal with him like in a way to make him understand the things well
No, no, no.
because
See, the question that we have asked, you have to really, really pay attention to the question you're asking. The question is, how do I deal with my annoying coworker? You haven't asked what is the personality of my annoying coworker. You see the difference?
Hmm.
If you want to see what is the real personality of my annoying coworker, let's say you have that question. Do this. What is the personality of my annoying coworker? Pull one card. Look, now I got the page of cups reverse. How interesting is that? We are all talking about the page of cups. So your annoying coworker can have, say, one personality, but then you're asking, how do I deal with him when he comes up to me? You pull a card for that, and oh, look, now I got the Queen of Swords, right? So this dude, the Page of Cups reverse, he now, see, now he can be, in the reverse, he can be extremely naive, or he can be a little too sensitive. He can get hurt at the drop of a hat, right? He's way too, emotionally susceptible or vulnerable or weak or whatever. And that's what maybe makes him very whiny, annoying. You can just go crazy with your thoughts on this, right? And this person, that's what makes him annoying, because how you are going to deal with him is like the Queen of Swords. You're going to deal with him you're going to keep your distance, and you're going to be like, I understand that all this is going on with you, but specific to your situation, here's your guidance, here's your answer. You're going to be like the Queen of Swords. You're not going to tolerate his nonsense beyond a point. Right? Did you get it, Shagun?
Yes, ma'am.
That's so the question we are asking is how to deal with the annoying coworker. And to answer that question, if you've got the Page of Cups or whatever your version of the Page of Cups, which is what is the one in the, I have the deck here, so I'm gonna look it up. Ta-da.
It's a
One,
bird in a pigeon.
understanding, right? So how are you gonna deal with this dude, right? You're not going to see now this one. This is again we are going to look now. This is interesting, challenging, interesting. Here in this Osho's End deck, we don't see people, we just see situations. We're going to use our techniques for interpreting the cards to understand this here. This, it looks like there's a cage, there's birds flying in and out of that cage, maybe. Can everybody see the cards? Because I can't see how I look on the screen right now. So
Yeah,
I hope you can
make
see.
it clear.
Okay. So here, essentially, this cage represents maybe caged thinking or limited, restricted thinking. You can't think beyond a point, kind of an approach there. And but the cage is open. You can fly in and out of it. So if you pull this card to answer how you're going to deal with this annoying coworker, maybe you can see that you can open that prison. You don't need to look at it from a very restricted perspective. You have to look at it from an unrestricted or a different perspective than what you have been looking at thus far. And maybe, and again, the code word here, the keyword understanding, you can approach his situation with a little bit more understanding than you would normally, and deal with that person in this manner. Does this help, Shagun?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to use, see now in again, this is very interesting because in the Osho Zen deck, the quote cards are a little bit different than your normal, this is the Knight of Cups in that deck. Then this is the Queen of Cups, right? They're very different than your traditional sort of quote card cards, and it's fun. It's fun to look at them, play with them, and it's great to interpret them also. This just tests your interpretation muscles a little bit. So I totally recommend this deck, but I will always say, familiarize yourself with the Rider Waite, have your foundations 100% strong, then just go have your adventure. It doesn't matter. The more decks you study, the more decks you play with, the more you are challenging yourself to look at different images and start interpreting. And then this is even fun that as you kind of spend more time looking at all this, then you can look at other images out there which are not even your quote card images or your tarot images or anything. If you go to look, say, at art, for instance, right? you can maybe even start seeing stuff in the paintings. There was a time when I used to really study logos, right? Of different companies or cars or brands or whatever. Just look at the logo and see what the symbolism is trying to convey to you through that. Because the artists really take their own sweet time coming up with logos, right? It's not that simple, just like that. Oh, you just come up with the logo. They have some things gone into it, some thinking. And as you start looking at symbols and symbolism, you start expanding outside of the tarot world. You'll see a lot of fun things jumping up at you, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't see that." you know. But yeah, that's just some extra stuff, fun stuff. Let's practice some more. Hmm. Well, okay. Let's look at a spread position. Okay. Let's say fears. Because hey, why not? We are in September, October shadow work territory, right? So let's say let's say if there's a spread going on and we are looking at the different spread positions, and one of the spread positions is fears. And let's say you pull a court card in there. Huh. I pulled King of Wands. So now this court card represents fears. Which one did you pull? King of Pentacles. Okay. What about you? Shagun, Essence, which ones did you pull?
Ma'am, a Queen of Cups.
Okay. Essence?
I pull Knight of Wands.
Oh.
Excuse me, King of Wands.
Oh, you also pulled the King of Wands? Just like I did. Okay. So, how would you interpret it? Okay, let's do this step by step. Let's go back to our table there. And the king is someone who's controlling, dominating, all of that. And wands are passionate, outgoing, energetic, inspirational, action oriented, conflictive, also, even. So, this is a person who likes to control and dominate something very passionately. He likes to control and dominate in a very, he's every creative aspect of the situation, maybe, right? That's his basic framework. And then let's look at what else is there in the image. We see his crown has that fire, right? So it's all he's maybe got a very fiery temper. And you see all the Leo lions on his his throne there, and he's probably like all Leos. He's very dominating and very he can be very angry at like get angry quickly. So now, along with the controlling, dominating, passionate energy and vibe, this guy is also very temperamental, or rather, he has a very fiery temper. But again, because he's the King of Wands, he may have control over his temper as well. And then we see the salamander, right? And the salamander represents an elemental of fire who never burns in fire. So fire can't burn him, all that. So, taking all that into account, let's come back and look at him from the perspective or in the spread position of fear. All of this represents fears. So, and again, this is a person. We are talking, let's say, in a reading. We are reading for someone, and this card shows up in the position of fears. So this guy, our client, the person we're reading for, is scared. Let's say this is him. So he's scared of being controlling. He's scared of being extra passionate. He's scared of being, that of his own temper maybe. He's scared that his dominating, angry, fearful, sort of, not fearful, but his dominating angry, extra passionate nature could maybe mess things up in whatever situation he's looking at. And that's how these are his fears. So sometimes a good thing can also become a bad thing depending on which spread position you pull it in, right? That's
Mm.
why I like this exercise, because you can really play around with this. Let's look at your card, Ruby. You pull the King of Pentacles. Go right ahead. Tell me how you would interpret it.
Well, he's smoking a cigar,
Mm-hmm.
and I smoke. To me, right away, right off the bat, it's in a fear position. It's immediately it's a fear of the smoking, like to give it up, to release it,
Okay.
and obviously it's money, like,
Mm-hmm.
some a fear over control of money
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So
And
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
and I have all my ducks in a row, and everything's controlled, and lists on top of lists, and every penny's accounted for, and control, fear of losing control.
There you go. There you
Things
go.
like that. I also see a pentacle on the book.
Aha. So that
Maybe
could.
It was showing up.
fear of losing control of my tarot, losing.
Yeah, or you might see that you'd get too caught up in it,
Oh yeah,
right? And
Mhm.
you lose sight of, especially with the finances. It maybe you'll get too caught up with your tarot, then you lose sight of your financial situation and plans, maybe.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I
Now,
seen the smoke right off.
now, if this guy was reversed, for instance, in the position of fears, what would
Uh,
that tell you?
oh, credit cards going down the tube, gambling,
Buying too many tarot decks.
oh yeah, just flushing the money down the toilet, and just being irresponsible with money, maybe eating too much, just not being financially stable,
There you
not
go.
providing for my family, not being in control of my body, my home, my family, my career, my stuff like that.
Awesome. Awesome. See, we can play around with this, right? You can take the card, you can, whatever position it shows up in, but then maybe you can change that. If it's reverse, make it upright, it's reverse. And just look at that. And it shows you so much in terms of interpreting.
And
So,
maybe a little too uptight.
oh yeah. Oh, the King of Pentacles is always uptight.
Because of the suit.
Yeah. I
Because
kind
I'm
of
always,
like him, He's one of
I
my.
know, but it's because my work, I'm always in a uniform at my job.
Oh, yes.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, it all comes into play.
I love him, the
Mhm.
King of Pentacles.
Oh yeah, he's one of my favorites. Him and the Wands guy, right?
Yeah.
If I
Yes.
met someone who is a combination of both of them, I would just like keep him.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Who else wants to chime in? Shagun, what did you pull?
Ma'am, I have pulled a cups of queen.
Huh? Queen of Cups.
Queen of cups.
That is which one?
Receptivity.
Receptivity. Okay. So that's your fear.
Yes.
Okay. How will you interpret it?
Ma'am, as we can see, she is a very lovable lady or a very emotional person,
Mm-hmm.
and so we can say she is so lovable and so emotional that that maybe she is having a fear of, or maybe she's controlling things in a way that she get emotionally attached, and after that she I don't know how to explain, but maybe I'm not getting it
No,
right.
no, no. You're doing a good job. See, ultimately, this her qualities that they get colored with being her fears, right? So she is afraid that maybe she is too nice, maybe she's too giving, right? And with this whole receptivity vibe, maybe she is a bit too empathic, right? That can happen, right? Being too understanding for other people, too giving to other people.
She's too good that this is the only fear, that she's too good with everybody.
Hmm.
Maybe that is the reason she's not happy, or she's having fear of losing everything because she has given too much to everybody.
Yeah. That, her kindness could be misinterpreted or taken advantage of, right?
Uh,
Yeah. See, see, suddenly this nice, lovely, wonderful card takes on its own sort of shades, and you're like, oh, yeah, okay. I love this exercise for this reason. You look at all the pretty cards, and then you're like, that's your fear. And you're like, oh no, dude. Right? But see, this is a very common position in most spreads. You'll see hopes, you'll see fears, you'll see outcome. And and then occasionally a court card will pop up and you'll be like, court card, what am I supposed to make of this? Nothing. Just look at the damn card. This is telling you everything you need to know. Right? This is how you're going to look at it. So it's again, no, there is absolutely no reason on this planet to get scared of these guys. These are people, these are how people are reacting to situations. So stay in an outcome position. If, let's say, oh yeah, here you go, if in an outcome position you got this Knight of Pentacles reversed, for instance, right? Now for a second, because we're learning, let's turn this guy upright. See this guy, he's a knight, he's ready to go out there, do his thing, but his horse is just standing there, right? So he's maybe taking a pause, he's holding that pentacle in his hand. That could be his resources. He's a pentacles guy, so he has these resources, and he's stopping maybe to think, to figure out what's next. Okay. And of course we can get into the image, there's that field in the background, right, ready for the seeds. So maybe he has the seeds, he has to sow them, it has to be done in the right time. He can't be doing that in the middle of winter, for instance. The plants will not grow, right? So timing becomes essential for this guy, he has to act in time. So in the outcome position, for instance, if this guy shows up, you could say maybe he's missed his timing, or he needed to act, he didn't act, or maybe situations are now forcing him to just act without maybe being emotionally ready, right? So all sorts of things come into play here. How else, what else can you add for this?
He's spending frivolously. He's wasting money.
Oh
He's
yeah,
dropping the ball.
oh
He's
yeah,
sleeping in.
He's
totally.
being too stubborn.
Sorry?
He's being stubborn.
Oh yes, absolutely. Because we can go to the other end of the spectrum. He's absolutely not going to move no matter what happens. That's, oh yeah, I love that one, right? So
he's wasting his time in doing nothing.
lovely, yes. Right? So as an outcome, again, right away the code card is again telling you what's going on, right? See, this is the difference. If you see, let me just take any card from the deck. There we go. I have the 9 of Cups. How nice. Here also in this card, you have a person and something is happening around him. Correct? But here you will interpret the situation more than the person. That's how you're trained to look at the cards, isn't it? You're going to not look really at the person, you're going to see, oh, how is he dressed? He looks well fed, he looks like he's doing okay. He's sitting very comfortably. You look at all the cups and you're like, oh, this guy's doing good. He's happy, he's contented, and that's the typical meaning of this card. But you would look at the card as a whole now. Here, you're going to see, oh, there's a person. But there's also something going around in the background which adds value to that. Again, there is a person, stuff's happening to him. It's not that different now, is it? That's it. But here it's more focused on the person. Here it's also more focused on the situation. But there's always a person. Hmm? So now, if you were to interpret in a spread, for instance, say surrounding situation for this Knight of Pentacles was this Nine of Cups. So you would say he is coming in from this situation and going into this situation. So he's feeling very contented. He's very happy with his life. He's doing okay. And now he's got a bunch of resources, and he's coming from that very I'm so contented space. So with that, he moves here and he's like, okay, but I've got this field and I've got the seeds, and should I plant the seeds, or maybe I should wait another year? And he's sitting there and thinking, right? The story moves like that. And that's how you would interpret it. I'll tell you my secret, if you were to sort of look at any card, not just the court cards, any tarot card, right? If you look out there, there's like a whole plethora of information. This symbol means this means that means this. There's way too many things. And it can get really cluttered up, and you're like, oh my god, what's this now? Just, all this is good. You can read up, you can learn all this, because it obviously adds value for you, because somewhere some symbol is going to pop up in your reading and like, oh yeah, that's important. And you need to know what it means. But for the most part, keep it as simple as possible. Don't overcomplicate your readings. Keep them simple and as simple as you can. And you will see, even with this simple explanations, you will come up with the readings. If they are complex, if they need to tell you stuff, they will tell you all they need to tell you. That will not stop happening. But when you clutter your head with too much information that I need to understand everything, then you are limiting yourself. With the tarot, it's always, I think, the opposite energies, right? The more you put into it, the more it clutters up. But the more you free your head and say, look, just whatever is coming, let it come. Everything comes. So you just keep it simple, keep it very uncluttered, and you'll see stuff coming like that. Like, oh, it's good. Oh, but it's so much fun that way. Maybe initially, when you're getting the hang of it, your readings will be very to the point, very simple or simplistic even. But even that has its own fun, right? You are not, and it's something I'm personally working towards in my readings, because I tend to just go on and I want to keep it simple. So try that. Try keeping it very simple, and see what comes. You will see that your readings open up like you wouldn't believe. It's fun. Okay. Oh, let's do more practice. Which question do you want to see now from those practice questions on screen? Hmm. Ah. Hmm. Samiksha. Hang on. Hi, Samiksha. Samiksha, we already sort of finished the presentation. We are doing practice now.
Oh, okay.
That's
Sorry,
all
I'm
right.
late
That's all
then.
right. I know you are a bit late, but it's okay. You can if you see in the chat box, you'll see the link for the downloadable handout. You can download that, and don't worry, I'm going to make a video of this, so it'll be there on my YouTube channel. You can watch this later, okay?
Sure. Thank you.
No
Thanks,
worries.
Bhante.
No worries, no worries. You can practice with us if you like.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right. So, am I still in the presentation mode? I think I am. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop presenting. So maybe you guys can you see my face?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, cool. I'm even
So
wearing
we're off of YouTube.
my Star Trek t-shirt. So this is supposed to be distressed. So it's supposed to be faded. It's ridiculous. You pay more money to get something that looks old,
Yeah.
right? Okay. All right. So let's practice. Which question do you want to see? Or do you want to just play around with spread positions? Okay, let's do this one. This is fun actually. Past, present, future. Just pull 3 cards, one for past, one for present, one for future.
Should we put our court cards in the deck?
No, just
Should
pull
we?
from the
Oh,
code cards.
okay, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So let's say this is going to depict a person's growth, maybe past, present, future, right? So in the past, he or she was this card. Present, they are this way. Future, they will be that way. Okay, so everybody got their cards out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Who wants to go first? Come on. Essence, you go first.
Okay. I have the Queen of Cups reverse,
Mm-hmm.
Page of Wands reverse, and Knight of Pentacles reverse. So
Ooh.
they're all reversed, and I guess everything is in delay, or there's some blockage.
Definitely, definitely. See, this is the thing. Before you even start interpreting, you see this pattern. All the cards are reversed, and that tells you right away that something, like you said, the growth is being blocked. There's something there's a blockage that's been going forward there. Okay, so past was which card?
Past was Queen of Cups reverse,
Aha.
and so the Queen of Cups may be somebody who is overly emotional.
Yes.
That's how I interpret it. Somebody who's just too smothering and overly emotional.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And in the present?
The Page of Wands, an immature person. But the Page of Wands is looking at the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups and the Page of Wands are looking at each other.
Aha. So he's still looking at the past. He hasn't, this
Yeah.
person hasn't moved from. I mean, you can even see in terms of maturity, he's come down from the queen. He's gone directly to the page.
Page. Oh Lord.
Yes, and he's looking at the past, and so the past still has a sway over him,
Right.
right?
So yes. This person doesn't have the energy anymore maybe they had before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
and they're being
and
more naive,
looking
perhaps.
more naive to it.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and can I go to the future?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Yep. Okay. The night. Did you want to say something about that?
No. I was going to say, and then let's see how he shows up in the future.
Okay. The Knight of Pentacles rebirth. So again, this is somebody who's stubborn, who probably is wasting their time.
Yeah, and he's
and
also
looking at
sorry.
looking at the Page of Wands.
Right, because he's also looking at the past. That's what I was going to say too.
Yeah.
Right? See,
Yeah.
it helps to see where they're looking, because then you can see that even now, maybe from the page, he may have progressed to the Knight, but he's still looking at the past. So he's still maybe sulking over or feeling sad over whatever has happened, when he was in the Queen of Cups state.
Right. And the Knight of so the person is stuck in this position and losing money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And he's losing money. True. Right? So again, because that is the future card, you can even say, look, if you're gonna keep going this way, you will end up in a position where you'll probably feel a little bit better. Maybe you might have a handle on things a little better than what you have now, but you'll end up losing money because maybe you're still stuck emotionally in whatever happened in the past.
Right. Right.
So right away, even the court cards are telling you what's going on.
Oh, I like that. And I don't like the reading, but
True.
I could see it much clearer. Thank you.
Oh, that's good. See, the court cards by themselves can also give you a thorough reading, right? There's a friend I used to know. Like, we used to learn from the same teacher back in the day. And this one time he did a spread that had a lot of court cards, and he just like, I'm not gonna read this, and he just put it all back and shoved it. And I'm like, that's not how you do it. You read it. He's like, there are too many court cards. That's it. I'm like, so. Oh god. So who wants to go next? Ruby?
Queen of Pentacles past, King of Cups present, and Page of Wands future, all upright.
Ooh. Okay. So tell me.
For a reading just for myself in general. All upright. Queen of Pentacles, taking care of myself and my family and the animals and my finances, and just just taking care of everything and just being happy to do so.
Right.
And just making sure everybody's taken care of, watching things grow, enjoying seeing family grow and plants grow and community grow, and just enjoying it and sitting back in nature and just enjoying life.
Yep.
And concentrating on the self right now at the present moment. It looks like I'm just kind of in a dream world here with this card, King of Cups.
Yeah.
Controlling my emotions, like being more meditative and being more in control of my emotions with it. I haven't studied this deck yet, but I know the King of Cups, but this one looks a little different. His eyes are closed here.
Yeah, he is very much in control of his feelings, right?
Yeah, he's got a fish necklace, and his fingers are in this cup, and there's a starfish.
I love this deck. I like Sears Tarot. I have it too.
Maybe being more in control of my emotions right now, and in the future, I really like this one. The Page of Wands. I really like this.
Yes.
Being more of a risk taker, being more joyful, and not so serious.
Yeah. So even with all, if you see the Queen of Pentacles, you're literally taking care of everything.
Yeah.
But now in the present, you're coming, you go from Queen to the King, right?
Yeah.
In that way, you're growing. And in the King of Cups, there you are. You're more in tune with maybe even the emotions, the creativity. That's the water energy there. And once you've had all that, because the king is the highest you can go, right, in terms of that, then you come back in the future, you go back to being the playful Page of Wands, and you're like, okay, let's play.
Yeah.
That's a good journey.
I like them.
Yep.
Mhm.
Cool. Okay, you want me to go? Who else wants to go? Should I go? Past, present, future. See what comes up. I like this. Okay. Past, we get the Queen of Swords.
Mhm.
Present, we get the Knight of Pentacles. And future is the Queen of Pentacles.
Mhm.
I like the Queen of Pentacles and I like the Queen of Swords too. So, okay. So, if I have to make this story, right? Past, I was being, say, very logical and compassionate. I was trying to find a balance between logic and compassion. And again, I was also working, with the butterflies there. I was also working on a lot of projects, like creatively brainstorming, coming up with things, focusing on things, which is true actually. That's what I've been doing. Then, in the present, I'm the Knight of Pentacles. I don't want to move. I just want to stay where I'm at because there's stuff going on and I'm just thinking, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? I'm really here. I really am here. Okay. And again, they're not necessarily monetary decisions, but they might have monetary implications. So there you have it. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles, right, in the future. So again, going from the Queen to the Knight and then back to the Queen again. So I guess I'm going to find my bearings, my balance. Nature is going to be very helpful, I think, being around plants and trees.
Mhm.
And nurturing. I see her nurturing that pentacle, but I feel I have to nurture myself at this point.
Yes.
And she's facing, like, the queen and the knight are looking in this direction, but the queen is looking more not at the past but at the pentacle downwards. So yeah, I think there's a lot of self-care in my future. But also, and then I'm again come out of that knight stage more to the queen stage. So that's good. That's good. No complaints. Yeah, this is a good story too. Now, if in this situation, let's say whichever card, let's say the Knight of Pentacles would have been reversed here. Ooh, then the story would have been so different, isn't it? Because then, right here, right now, I need to move. I need to put things into motion, which I'm not putting into motion. I'm still focused on the past, and I'm maybe losing money because of it, right? But then the queen comes in and she recovers everything. But that's in the future. Play around. I will always say play around with the card positions, move them, change them, play with them, and you'll see this different versions of the story come in, and it's more fun that way. Shagun, have you pulled cards?
Yes, ma'am, I have, but I cannot make it like a story in a form of story. I'm a bit confused.
That's fine. That's fine. Tell
I
me
don't
what
know, but
cards you pulled.
I'm really sorry to say, but I find it very difficult. Code cards. I don't know. I
That's
don't.
okay.
I think I cannot do it.
See, Shagun, don't tell yourself that. Don't look at them separately from other cards, especially because I know you're looking at the Osho Zen deck. Just look at them like any other card. Can you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't,
I'm trying, but
yeah.
I'll tell you.
Hmm.
So I have pulled a page of pentacles as a reverse for the past,
Okay.
and Queen of Cups upright as a present,
Hmm.
and Page of Wand reversed as a future.
Okay. So let me see if I can pull those cards from my deck here. So, page of wand. That's your playfulness. Would be playfulness would be page of wands. Queen of cups. You keep getting that, don't you? That's your receptivity. Where is it? Go and then page of
Adventure.
pentacles. So that's adventure, isn't it?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So you have adventure, receptivity, and playfulness. Correct?
Yes. Yes,
Oh, okay.
ma'am.
So don't think of them ki, oh, this is court card, my god, what's going to happen? Just drop that from your head. Just look at what's going on in the card here. Okay? Your past card, you have this adventure. I love this card, by the way. Isn't this beautiful? I bet most of you,
Yes.
if you don't have this deck, you're all going to end up buying this deck now. This is a great card. So, what's happening in the past, Shagun? Tell me. What's going
So,
on?
ma'am,
What is the little girl or little child in the card doing?
I have pulled up this card as a reverse. So
Okay.
I would say she's going on a maybe she's going on a wrong direction.
Okay.
Maybe she doesn't know the right way to do
Okay.
things, and she's keep on going as she is immature, or maybe she has no knowledge of doing that, or maybe she's so adventurous that she doesn't want to see things around her. So she's going on a direction and keep on going
Okay.
in the past, and I see it as I am the one, because there was a time in my life which I don't want to see anything. I'm just going in my way,
Okay.
thinking that what I am doing is right. So I see this card as myself.
Okay. All right. But you see, if you put these in a straight line, page of wands reverse. Okay. Okay. We will talk about the directions later. Okay. So that was in the past. You just basically wanted to explore what's out there and you didn't really think where you were going, what you were doing. You were just exploring because you wanted to explore it. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then coming to the present, we are here in this
So
card.
yes. So if I see this as a my life journey, so now it's a receptivity,
Hmm.
which I would say this is a card of mature woman,
Hmm.
and now I have understanding. Now I have that sense to see things in a right way.
Hmm.
Now I can analyze things, and now I can take a mature decision. But I'm not the same person which I was
Correct.
earlier. Earlier, I was a very immature and let it go attitude I used to have, but now I have a positive attitude and a right attitude towards everything.
Okay. Yep, you got it.
Mhm.
So then, what were you not able to interpret, Shagun? Because thus far I see you're doing a good job.
Ma'am, so far I know कि I'm going good, but at the time of future, which is a playfulness, I don't know how to relate this card with these two.
Okay. Okay. Are simple. Hai. Okay. First, just look at the card and tell me what you see. Upright.
Um, it's a joker
Mm-hmm.
basically who is matlab, if I would if I would say to he is enjoying in himself,
Hmm.
or maybe he doesn't want to see anybody. He's in a playful manner. He's just enjoying. I don't want to see things what is going around me. I'm loving what I'm doing.
Correct. Right? So he's just enjoying his own energy, his own vibe, and he's being very playful, right? Okay. Now, but this card has come reversed in your reading. So, what will happen? Reversed, he may not be as playful, or he is probably not as lost in his adventures, right? What else do you
So,
feel?
ma'am, what should I say? Is it a positive thing or a negative thing?
You are getting caught up with that, I think, Shagun. Stop worrying about whether this is good or bad. It doesn't matter. For 1 second, don't worry about positive or negative. Just look at what the card is telling you.
Ma'am, if I see this card in a reverse position, I would say uh, he can't enjoy himself
Hmm?
now. He has to hide the real emotion of the real emotion. As earlier he was a joker, he pretended to be happy, but now he can't do that.
Okay, so you said earlier as a joker in the upright, he was pretending to be happy. Now in the reverse, he can't be pretending. He is trying to look for really what is the source of his happiness.
Yes, because ma'am, if you see clearly to his face now, he is not smiling.
Correct.
He is just having a joker face, but he is not happy.
See, there you go. You have unlocked something, Shagun. See, you're getting too caught up, I think, with is this good, is this bad, is this, and you're losing sight of what the cards are really telling you because you're getting too caught up with the good and bad part of it. So just put that aside, see what the card is telling you, and then right away you've hit the nail on the head, right? So if let's come back to our spread. In the present with the receptivity card, in the queen position, this person is becoming, open to all the beautiful energies of the world, all the information that is coming. And then and with that information, in the future, he is not going to pretend to be playful. He's going to really look for the joy. He's going to really look for the real source of happiness. With the knowledge that you have received in the present, it means that as you go forward, you will not be pretending to be happy and joyful, but you're going to find the real source of your happiness, and the truthful joyfulness will come out, and the real happiness will be seen. What do you think?
Yes, ma'am. Now I can correlate things.
See, don't get to see, this is one of the things, right? When we read for ourselves, we often have a feeling that, oh, this is not what I want to see, and we get confused and we get all worked up. But
Actually, ma'am, I got very scared.
mm,
Till present is okay, but the future part I got so scared. What exactly does it mean?
it's some, see, you when you right away said that about the joker and he's pretending, right? You yourself have unlocked it, right? Don't see, this is a common thing when we read for ourselves. This happens a lot, and I believe me, I have been through it, right? When I started reading the cards for at least 3 4 years, I couldn't read for myself because every time I looked at the cards, I was like, no, I don't want this. It was very dramatic. So you can only shuffle and reshuffle and reshuffle and reshuffle so many times, right? The cards are still gonna tell you what's gonna happen one way or the other. So this is not a bad reading, Shagun, right? This is actually
Yes,
telling you that with whatever's going on in the present in this card, and whatever information you're learning, you cannot be a naive person pretending to be playful. You're going to be someone who has to find the true source of joy and happiness, and that's where the growth will begin. Correct?
yes, ma'am.
And again, now let's see. both these cards, if you put the spread right this, okay, let me hold it up. Let me see if I can hold it up. Right? Okay, so this is the spread. You will see both the people are looking towards the central card or going towards the central card. Right?
Right.
Now that is interesting because that's where the power is coming from, right? That's where all the information, the knowledge, the wisdom, everything is going to come from. The guy from the past moves to the future to learn something here, and that is going to drive the future card also into learning something and being something different. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Shagun, don't be so scared. The cards are your friends, and even I'll tell everybody this. Sometimes in our readings, we'll see stuff which we don't want to see. Okay? Sometimes the cards will be like, you're being an idiot. They'll like literally tell you to your face when you're being an idiot or when you're being stupid. Don't feel like, oh my god, what has happened? Think of your cards as your very, very honest and straightforward friends who are literally telling you when you're doing something wrong or silly or stupid. They're coming and telling you. And for one, wouldn't you appreciate such friends, who are being honest with you, right? If you're making an ass of yourself, you want someone to come tell you before you make a even bigger ass of yourself, right? Or if you're goofing up somewhere. And again, Shagun, this is interesting because this card that you were scared of is coming in the future, which means it has not happened as of now, which means you can change it. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So stop being scared of this. There's no need to be worried or scared. Even if the cards tell you something, let's say something bad is going to happen. Okay, you know what? You'll be better prepared for this. You'll be better prepared to handle this. Don't get into, oh my god, my life is a tragedy mode. There's time enough for that later. But right now, you can prepare for it, or you can maybe do something to change it. Right? So, actually, that brings me to this point where I want to talk about this new workshop that I am planning. Uh, I I don't know how many guys will be interested, but you may have seen, I think, one post, and there'll be more posts coming out. But basically, I'm planning. I have planned this sort of web course. It's going to be a 3-day course, about a couple of hours each day. So it's not like a whole lot of time. And we get together on Skype, which allows us to make a video recording of our session. And so it's going to be like, your videos will be with you. I'm not going to share them with anybody else. And in that whole thing, 2 days I'll be teaching and sharing whatever is to be done. Third day will be all full practice, right? That's how I've planned it. This is called the Ask the Tarot Archetypes workshop, where we are going to get really specific and look at each card for what energy it represents and use that in these different interesting spreads that sort of came to me. And these are your regular spreads that you've been using, but how to leverage them for this purpose, to ask very specific questions to very specific cards. And you can bring your tarot cards, you can bring your Lenormand cards. If you like using any other card based system to get to the answers, bring them as well. And use any, and you can use them in combination, whatever, make a big hot mess, I don't care. It's as crazy as you can get, but it will give you very specific answers to very specific questions. And this can be used for all sorts of deep understanding and work, shadow work or inner work, whichever way you want to take it, you can go with it. And there will be also a guided meditation and whatever, all sorts of fun stuff is there in it. It's not a free one though; it's a paid one. I'm going to be charging $126 for it because the numbers add up to 9. What to 6? So if any of you are interested in that, please email me and we'll set it up. I've planned it for the 9th, 10th, and 11th of September. So 3 days and just 2 hours, 11:30 EST. So if and we can, and we will, once this workshop is done, I'll give you guys time to practice. We can meet up again after 15-20 days, practice some more, all of that. We can figure it out. I'm just sharing that I'm going to be doing such a workshop. So if you are interested, you can join up. If you think someone else might be interested, please share with them. Okay. And I'll be posting it on my group page and on my Instagram. I think from today onwards I'll be posting about that workshop. So check it out. If you like, just email me or share with your friends. Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping to have like a small group, maybe 3-4 people, not more. So then we can really get into it, and I can give everybody like individual attention. Uh, just wanted to share with you guys while we are at it. Ooh. Okay, so that was one thing. Let's get back to practice. If you want, we can do the quote card party or we can do the personality spread. What do you want to do? Guys, say something. It's actually close to 1:30 at my end, so we've been on for like a couple of hours. I guess nobody realized how quickly the time passed, huh?
Right.
But yeah, so I'm just saying that because if you guys have places to go, things to do, you should know that because this happens a lot. You get so caught up, and then suddenly, oh my god, what's the time, right? So,
Can I ask you about your class?
oh sure.
This is essence. If you can't make one of the days, how? Because I know one day I'm not going to be able to make it.
Well, what I can do is one thing is you'll have the access to the video recording, and so if you can watch the video and come back and you can ask me questions, or I can just do a separate day for you, no problem.
Okay.
Whatever works for you. I mean, depends which day you might be missing. Is it the first day or the second day? Or the third?
The third day.
Oh, that's the practice day. Okay. Yeah, sure. You know what? That way what you'll get double advantage. You can look at the practice sessions of all the others and then I can give you a separate day. It's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. That's the advantage of having a small group is we can be, we can customize a bit, right? So, which one do you guys want to practice some more, or you guys want to uh, uh, do the code card party or the personality spread, or you want to practice this at home? Here's my suggestion. If it's getting too late, I suggest you guys practice all this, and maybe we can get together maybe another time, say in another 10-15 days, we can get back all together and practice some more. This time we'll practice all the cards to spreads. What do you say? 3 card spreads, 5 card spreads? You want me to do a webinar on that? Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay.
Do you ever read This is Essence. Do you ever read like two cards as one, like a combination? Or did we do that already? Is that how you normally do it? You know how we did the past, present, future?
Mm-hmm.
Could you read one card? Can you read three cards like one, like a combination of all?
Yeah, you can. Depends on the question. Now, because we were using past, present, future separately as spread positions, I kind of combine that in a spread. But let's say
Okay.
this is what you do, right? When you use clarifying cards, for instance, isn't it?
Okay.
You let's say you drew one card and you pulled another card to clarify it. So let me just give you an example. Let me just take a regular card, for instance. Oh, here you go. You have four of wands, and let me pull another clarifier. Ha, five of pentacles reversed. What a mix. Okay, so let's say you pull the four of wands and you're like, oh, this is, celebration or happiness and joy and success and all the good stuff, marriage and all that. But then you're like, so is this a celebration or just a party I'm attending, or is this a marriage that I'm attending? What's going on here? And so you pull another card and you end up pulling the five of pentacles reversed. What an interesting clarifier, isn't it? So let's say you
Right.
pull up the five of pentacles reversed, which is, five of pentacles is all about financial hardship, right? Finding yourself in a spot of financial hardship. But then reverse, it means you're going to come out of it. You're going to, the window. This is what my teacher used to teach me. This window has now become a door, she went, right?
Oh,
And I like that analogy because now suddenly you see there's a way out of this financial hardship. So now suddenly this celebration could be a celebration of success because you found a way out of a financial spot, or you're celebrating that, okay, finally, things are now getting better. So that's the celebration that we are going in for, right?
right. Right.
So now together they tell a story that kind of is more clearer.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that's how you do with the clarifier cards. And you can maybe pull 2, 3, 4 cards and read them as a bunch together. And but again, I will a word of caution about clarifier cards. Don't pull too many clarifying cards. Sometimes they end up confusing the issue. So
Right.
so keep like a minimum 2 cards or something. I don't go beyond one personally, if you ask me, but that's because I've had cards that just go one way and then there's another way and then this way and that way. And I'm like, what's going on? Clarifiers can sometimes mess up the story. Yeah. So, anybody have questions for me? All good? Okay. All right. So, you guys have your handouts, right? If you don't, just email me. I'll send you the link once again. And yeah, and practice. And we'll get together maybe. Oh, we have the Labor Day weekend, don't we? Practice, practice, practice. Have fun with your cards. And then I'm hopefully doing the workshop. How about sometime after the 15th of September? Okay. 17th is also the new moon. How about that? How about we get together that day and we do spreads?
The 15th,
The 17th.
the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What day is that?
It's a Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. I think I'm off.
Oh, that'll be great. Good, good, cool. So let's plan for something on the 17th. Let's all get together. And you know what? Let's do new moon spreads because it's a
New moon?
Yeah, it's a new moon that day.
Mm,
New moons are a great energy for starting something.
yay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because then as the moon becomes fuller,
I
it
am off.
comes.
I'm on vacation.
Yay! Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, let's do new moon spreads. I'm gonna look online for some interesting new moon spreads.
Okay,
And
Matthew.
oh, you're welcome. It was so much fun.
This was so much fun.
It was definitely.